Hi, I'm Jonathan. This is B-Movie Madness. The movie I'm going to talk about today, well, the one I'm going to be talking about today is a new release from SWHorror.com. What's that release? Find out after this intro. Really glad you came back. The movie I'm going to be talking about today is an anthology film, which, if you know me, I absolutely love anthology films. Um, Anthologies is probably one of my favorite subgenres, horror-wise. I just absolutely adore them. Like, if there's, I'll pretty much, my goal in life is to watch as many as I can find. But the one today is the Brett Kelly co-directed shot-on-video anthology, Night Songs. Trying to get a good view of that cover. It's kind of hard. The cover is dark. Well, it's dark on this camera. Now, if you don't know who Brett Kelly is, Brett Kelly is a low-budget filmmaker, as you would guess, who's done a shit ton of stuff. Man, if you go on IMDb, he's directed so much. He's directed stuff like the Kingdom of the Vampire remake, Ghastlies from Camp Video. He's also did a shit ton of cheesy shark movies of like the past decade. Raiders of the Lost Shark, Ouija Shark, which is probably one of the worst blind buys I've ever bought. To be fair to Brett, he used a pseudonym on that movie, so maybe he wasn't happy with it either. But the Ouija Shark and this movie are only two I've watched so far. I really want to watch this King of the Vampire remake. I'm a huge fan of the original, so interested in checking this out. But what did I think of Night Songs, which is the first thing he directed? He co-directed it with Jodi Pittman. Well, to be perfectly honest, I was very, very meh on it. It's not horrible. It's not so bad it's entertaining. It's just right there in the middle. But what is Night Songs about? Well, it is about a woman who is kidnapped and subject to the cruelty of her captor as he taunts her with uncertain future and a series of frightening stories. And because it's an anthology film, there's 3 stories, and then there's the wraparound, which is what I just said. The first story is called Bad Blood, and it's about a vampire who stalks a woman while a mysterious man pursues the vampire. Who is the predator and who is the prey? As far as this one goes, first of all, before I even begin the review, there's a warning at the beginning of the film saying that this is the best the film's going to look. This is the source that was given to Tony. This is as best it's going to be. The quality on this is very, very, very rough. In this particular story, what makes this one kind of rough to sift through is the fact they shot it all at nighttime because it involves a vampire. And so the lighting is very poor. So the mixture of the poor source material and the lack of lighting, it's very hard to see what's going on, especially towards the end. But I will say, I'm going to give it some credit, the story itself is actually pretty interesting. It reminded me a lot of a movie that Troma ended up putting out called Sucker the Vampire, which if you have not seen Sucker the Vampire, I highly recommend that one. I don't want to spoil the ending of this, but if you've seen Sucker the Vampire, you know what I'm talking about. But despite the fact that the video quality was very rough and hard to see, I still like the story, and I'm going to give it a pass simply because I just like how it ended. The second story is called Forever Young, and it's about a female musician who's offered a spot in a band of vampires. Will she accept and run rock and roll forever? This one is very, very forgettable to the point where I had to watch it a couple of times just to remember what happened. It's another vampire story. It doesn't have as memorable a story as the first one did. It's easier to see. The video quality is still pretty rough, but it's easier to see what's going on. But the story is just forgettable, and it just doesn't leave a mark. It didn't leave a mark on me anyways. The final story is Just in Hell, which is about an abusive rock star who meets the girl of his dreams. Or is she a nightmare? This one is the longest story. I forgot to mention, this is only 40 minutes long, so it's pretty short. But this is the longest of the stories, and it's definitely the best because it's the longest and it has more room to breathe. The picture quality, although still rough, is easier to see than, of course, the first story. What took me by surprise is I suspected this would be about vampires, simply because the first two stories were about vampires. So I thought the movie was building up to its ending and it was going to involve a vampire. It does not. I don't want to spoil exactly what happens, but it does not end with a vampire, which, eh. But I thought Brett Kelly, who actually stars in all the stories, I thought he was pretty decent as the abusive rock star. There's some nudity in this one, so it gets points for that. And the ending, although it didn't go the direction I thought it would, was still not a bad direction, and it was ended on an interesting note. If you're suspecting, what am I talking about? If you're wanting a lot of gore, this movie doesn't have really much gore at all. There's a very little gore in this movie. It does make it up probably with the nudity, but you get some bloody and spit up, some bloody bite, and like slit throat. But there's not much at all. As for the wraparound story, the wraparound's really interesting because it pretty much starts off with the woman tied up and being told these stories, and you're not really sure why he's doing it. There's not a reason that's given for anything that's happening in that wraparound story. So it pretty much ends the way you would, think it would. But it's really nothing special. It's just basically you're thrown into the situation, no answers, and you're just going along for the ride. But overall, yeah, I was in the middle with this one. The third story was definitely the best and most interesting of the segments in this. It's hard because I don't want to take away points for the video quality because it's something that Tony of SOB Horror and Brett Kelly could not control. That was the best that they had. But it was really hard to watch at times, especially the nighttime stuff. Mainly the first story. The first story is one that suffers the most, and it's disappointing because that one actually has an interesting, it goes into an interesting direction. The acting is what you would think you get out of this. It's mixture of mediocre and okay. I thought Brett Kelly was the best actor in the movie. He's in every single segment, like I said, but he does actually a really decent job. But overall, it's, like I said, in the middle of the road. As far as anthologies goes, I've seen much better shot on video anthologies. I wouldn't put this as the absolute worst, but I would not even put it towards the middle. It's just there. And, I wasn't frustrated or annoyed at all watching it. It was just there. But I will say the best thing about this, though, is actually the special features. And I want to go into those right now. I want to try to give you a look at the back. Yeah, it's fucking... I'm going to have to get a light for that. I'll read them anyways. There's an audio commentary with Brett Kelly. He is very honest about it. He is very embarrassed and does not like night songs. So his brutal honesty is refreshing, and I really just enjoyed his commentary track. He goes in details about how he made it, who some of the actors are, where he made, I think he said 50 copies of the VHS, among other things, and that he's putting this out there so his fans can actually have a special edition copy. So that's actually really cool of him. Even though he's not a fan of the movie, he's giving you guys the opportunity to watch it. That's awesome. There's not one, not two, not three, but 4 bonus shorts. The first bonus short is Clowning Around. I absolutely loved this short. It's not horror related, but it's very funny, and it has a fantastic ending that made me laugh out loud. So I really, that was a lot of fun. Second bonus short is Young Zombies in Love, which is about 2 minutes long, and it's what it says it is. It's really nothing special, but it's 2 minutes, so it goes by fast and doesn't really leave a mark. The third bonus short was A Tale of the Bone Setter. That was fantastic. Quality-wise, it was far and above everything else on this disc. You could tell that there was some, real effort put into that short. My main problem is the fact it's only 11 minutes long. I actually wanted it to go on longer. I see that there's some Bone Setter movies out there, so if you've seen them and you recommend them, please let me know down below. But yeah, that was a great short. Very quality. It was in 2.35 widescreen. Compared to everything else, it just looked amazing. The last short is The Legend of the Bone Setter, which is basically a comic book animated origin story of the Bone Setter. It's okay. It's not nearly as good as Dollar Short, but it's still pretty cool to watch. You also got the original pre-release trailer, and you also got the SOVHorror.com trailer vault, which has a bunch of trailers for the other stuff that Tony's putting out. He did a lot of great work with this disc. Despite my feelings for this, like Brett Kelly says, it's great that this is being put out there for his fans. It's only the second thing I've seen of his, but I will be checking out his Kingdom of the Vampire remake soon, and also Ghastly's, which looks like it's a lot of fun. I want to check out more of his stuff because, yeah, despite what I felt about this, you can see that there's something in this, some kind of creativity and energy, that he wasn't successful at the execution, but you can still sense it in the movie. But overall, do I recommend Night Songs? If you're a Brett Kelly fan and you don't own this, you definitely need to pick this up. Casual SOV fans, not really. It's only 40 minutes, so even if you don't like it, it goes by really fast. I do recommend it for the special features, though. So overall, I do give this a very mild recommendation based on the special features and just, for your SOV collection. I'll be doing a new review next week for Dreamwalkers, which is a return to the Joe Sherlock world, but this time he's not directing it. So you'll find out more about that next week. So look out for that. If you like my channel, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, comment down below. Are you a Brett Kelly fan? Are you not a Brett Kelly fan? If you are, what is your favorite Brett Kelly movie? I'm interested in knowing. I have a B-Movie Madness merchandise store at Teespring, so I'll put a link down that below. I have t-shirts, coffee cups, fanny packs, masks, stickers. Please, if you want anything, just help support the channel. I really, truly appreciate it. If you want to pick up Night Songs, you can pick it up at SOVHorror.com. I will have a link down below as usual where you can pick that up. But that's it for now. I'm Jonathan Knight. This has been B-Movie Madness. Thanks for watching.